Shalom. I want to first and foremost start off by giving all honor, all praise, and all glory to Yahweh, Bashim, Yahushai, Bashim, Rachak, Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. And as always, peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopefully like tabernacle of David scattered abroad across the four winds of the earth. And I just wanted to do a quick lesson, as I was listening to this video right here. You all know who Joe Budden is. He was a former rapper turned podcaster. He got his own little podcast and whatnot. And he happened to be speaking on this past Sunday's Super Bowl halftime show, where you got everybody and their mama, talking about this performance. You got Jake, trying to decode the symbolism and, the whole debacle, which I believe this whole thing was a big distraction, because now, the focus ain't on, what's going on as far as, with Trump, Elon, and, all the cohorts and the elites that are behind them are doing. And everybody's focused on this one event, just talking about it. But anyway, what stuck out in this little clip right here in the spirit, I guess the spirit made me just click on it, because I really wasn't interested, but some just made me just click on it, right? And, I'm listening to it, and then he goes on to say something that, I thought was necessary to respond to, because, everybody that actually saw that halftime performance, I didn't see any hidden symbolism. I didn't see any imagery that showed any representation of the Hebrew Israelite faith. All I really saw in that performance was, pro-black American patriotism. And it might have, he might have had other messages in there too that, I didn't catch, or, whatever, right? But something that Joe Budden may have saw in that performance made him question if Kendrick is an Israelite, which I didn't see nothing of that sort when I saw the performance. All right, when it was happening live, we was at camp. I didn't get to see it, but everybody was talking about it. People at my job talking about it. I'm like, man. And then of course TikTok, they all over it. So I went back and watched it on YouTube, and I was like, so this is what everybody talking about. All right, cool. I mean, he performed. He whatever. I didn't see anything in that performance that showed any indication that he was representing the Hebrew Israelite faith in any kind of way. All right, but you got niggas that be on these platforms that be trying to go deep, and they were trying to make it seem as if he's putting messages out there for Israelites. This dude, he's not an Israelite. All right, he claimed he was an Israelite on one song. When you're an Israelite, it's not something you are for the moment. It's not something that you just feel because you heard something that sound good, so you identify with it for a certain period of time. All right. No, once you come into the understanding of this, you realize that this is a heritage, this is a nationality. All right. And, what was given, to that set of people. They were given laws. They were given statutes, judgments. All right. They were given prophecies. All right. That gave us the understanding of, what to look for in the final days, in the last days. All right. Curses, all these different things, man. All right. Wisdom, hidden wisdom that the world would not be able to receive. All right. You're not going to get that being a black American or a black person. But the scriptures say our people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. So I'm gonna play the clip so y'all can listen, and you're gonna basically hear him, mention the Israelites, which shows you that everybody's listening. Everybody knows who we are. All right. Everybody knows that we're out there, and that's the importance of, being out there on the front lines, man. Scriptures say, thine eyes shall see thy teachers. All right. They shall not be removed into a corner anymore, but thine eyes shall see thy teachers, and thou shalt hear a voice behind thee saying, from to the right and to the left, walk you in the way. So anyway, let's listen to it real quick.
I don't know if that was part of it or if it wasn't part of it, which leads to my only question when I finished the Super Bowl. I said, man, is this nigga Israelite or not? Because that will totally change. I would have never said that last podcast if I know that Kendrick Lamar is an Israelite.
Well, he kind of said that on Damn.
Cool.
He's not, but he's influenced.
Israelite, listen, I'm as pro-black as they come. I'm with the blackity black shit.
Yeah, and that's why Jake is under a heavy curse, being black. That classification of being black, it didn't come from our ancestors. They didn't call themselves black. All right, the enemy, the oppressor, placed that classification upon you. All right, to make that separation. And when you go into the meaning of black, when you go into these different dictionaries and look up the term for black and what it actually means, you wonder why you carry that negative stigma. And the whole entire world, views you, with that stigma. Because that goes back to the curse of being a byword and a proverb among the nations. Matter of fact, let me get that. And as long as you still identify with being black, you're still asleep. And even Kendrick said that on that other album when he mentioned that he was an Israelite. Did he not say, I am an Israelite, don't call me black no more? He said, black is just a color, it ain't facts no more. That's what he said. But now he back to being black, because he ain't ever mentioned being an Israelite ever since. But this is Deuteronomy 28 and verse, let me see. It's like Deuteronomy 28 and 37. It says, and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee. And black is not an identity. That's not a real identity. All right. No other race on the planet Earth identify as a color. All right. Jake, here in America, you're the only ones that do that. Because that's the curse. You were removed far from your heritage. The nations conspire with each other, pursuant to Psalms, the 83rd chapter, to cut you off from being a nation, that the name of Israel be no more in remembrance. And you had another nation who hijacked your identity and heritage and started claiming it as their own while they ruled the planet Earth. That's what happened. All right, Jeremiah 17 and 4 said that we would discontinue from our heritage. And that's literally what happened. So our people, they lost their identity. But now, with this truth being at the forefront and being pushed, our people are regaining that remembrance of who they are. Because Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, prophesied that the Lord would put his breath back on Israel. because they would be in a spiritually dead state. They was called dry bones. He asked, can these bones live? So the Lord had to put that breath back into us. Put the sinews in the flesh, which represents that identity coming back upon us. In the land of our captivity, we will remember ourselves. Baruch 2 and was that 30? So if you know about the Hebrew Israelites, then you're not ignorant to the message, which shows that these people be listening. All these entertainers and celebrities and podcasters, they all be listening. All right. Matter of fact, let me get this. There's Psalms 19 and verse I'll start at 1. Psalm of David. It says, the heavens declare the glory of the Most High, and the firmament show of his handiwork. Day unto day utter speech, and night unto night show of knowledge. There is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard, especially on the internet, where people from all over the world in different countries, they can click on our video and they can hear it in their language, or they can change the annotation language so that they can actually understand what's being said. So there's no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. Their line is going out through all the earth, and their words into the ends of the world. In them have he set a tabernacle for the sun, which is a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, and rejoiceth as a strong man to run a race. All right. So, this message traveled throughout the whole world. So it's definitely known. All right, let's go to Romans 10 and 18. Matter of fact, I'll start at verse 14. It says, how then shall they call on him in whom they have not believed? And how shall they believe in him of whom they have not heard? And how shall they hear without a preacher? And another word for preacher is a prophet. All right. And how shall they preach except they be sent? In which the Lord said that he would raise up pastors according to his heart that would feed you with knowledge and wisdom. And we're out there giving it to you, day in and day out. You got camps that go out certain days of the week, and then you got the weekends that's definitely sold up. So the message of this gospel is definitely being sent out. That work is being put in, which the Lord, he mentioned it. All right. He said that the harvest is plenteous, but the laborers are few. So that's why, brothers are putting in that extra work, man. All right. And we're in the final stretch because, this devil, he's moving quickly. The end is getting ready to be, the end is coming. So we got plenty of work to do. And the more we're out there, and the more we putting out there, the more, is getting in the ears of people who still have not came across this. All right. And we use this internet, to carry that burden, of getting the message out, farther beyond just, standing where we at in the street. All right. So that's why we record, live when we out there. And then we have a separate camera where we also record it, and then we post that to another channel so that this thing can get out there. Jake ain't going to have no excuse in that day. None. It says, as is written, how beautiful are the feet of them that preach the gospel of peace and bring glad tidings of good things. All right, preaching the good message, man. That, hey, even though we've been in captivity, we're getting ready to be released. Our punishment is having an end. The Lord's getting ready to come to deliver the elect of Israel, to establish the kingdom of heaven, which is going to be right here on earth. It says, but they have not all obeyed the gospel. Yet 2/3 they're prophesied to reject it. You know, the Lord told Ezekiel whether they hear or whether they whether they hear or whether they forbear, because they're what? They're a rebellious house. We know that only the elect are going to obtain this and the rest are going to be blinded. So, you know, they're not going to obey the gospel. And even when you further hear this video, you know, the message sounds good to a dude like Joe Budden. Where you think he's going to come all the way over? You think he's going to convert? Hell no. Yahweh Shai said it best, and men love darkness rather than light. You know? It says, for Isaiah saith, Lord, who have believed our report? So then faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of the Most High. But I say, have they not heard? Yes, verily their sound went into all the earth, and their words unto the ends of the world. And back in that time, you know, you had Paul's ministry, and, you know, he had other men that he appointed to churches, you know, beyond his reach. You have to send letters to other regions and locations that he couldn't make it to make sure that the word got out and reached where it needed to reach back at that time. Well, we're in the end now, and we're in the Western Hemisphere. So now, you know, we're out on the streets of every major city in Babylon. You got brothers in the Caribbean. You got brothers up in Canada. You got brothers in Europe. You know, a couple camps in Africa. So the sound is definitely going into the ends of the world. All right. And we're in the Western Hemisphere. So the word reached here and it reached back to the other side of the world. But it started here. Because this is where the Lord would put his breath, you know, back into us, the spirit of the Most High. When you read Revelation 11, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. You know, after making merry and seeing our dead bodies in the street of this great city, which is Babylon, spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. So anyway, let's go back and finish this out.
And then you bump into some people like an Israelite and talk to them and see that there's a separation in you're black and they're black. Like, you be down with that shit. They be saying some shit. Yo, man, we need to do this. We need to change the currency and the ecosystem. Yeah, I'm with all that shit. And yeah, man, we need to just march to fucking Memphis. And if we see a white person burning on the sidewalk, then we don't do nothing. We just gonna keep marching right by them. We don't put no water.
And they talking about IUIC because they're the only ones that do that marching crap. You know, and that shows you they do it for views. You know, that catches the eyes of people. So it's all a gimmick. You know, to be seen of men. But, you know, outside of that interesting people, they're not going to come and want to further inquire, because that's how Jake is. They see it and they might get intrigued for a little bit, but really Jake just see entertainment in it. They're not trying to be converted. They're not trying to be edified. Hey, the prophecy said it. Let's go to Ezekiel 33. It's Ezekiel 33. And I'm going to start at verse 30. And it says, also, thou son of man, the children of thy people still are talking against thee by the walls and in the doors of the houses. Yeah, everybody's mentioning the Israelites, whether they have a negative view or even a positive one. We're still being mentioned. All right. It says, and speak one to another, every one to his brother, saying, come, I pray you, and hear what is the word that cometh forth from the Lord. And they come unto thee as the people cometh, and they sit before thee as my people, and they hear thy words. You know, Jake, you know, whether they walk by the camp and throw their little fist up, or you even hear Jake say shalom, you know, or they'll, you know, if they're on the internet and they come across the Israelites, they'll click on it, you know, and just to, you know, hear what's being said. And if it doesn't grind their gears, if it doesn't tickle their ears, so to speak, then they'll click back off of it, or they'll leave a little slick remark or a scoff. They won't take it serious. It says, but they will not do them, for with their mouth they shew much love. Some of them, they'll leave a comment. I like what you brothers are doing out there. Keep up the good work. Okay. So what are you going to do after hearing the message? What steps are you finna take now? We know that the scriptures say putting out off day to day. Sirach 5:7, putting out off day to day. The day of the Lord. It says, but their heart goeth after their own covetousness. Yeah, they go after the things of this world. Because in their heart, they really don't believe that this is over with. So Jake, they put their trust in this deteriorating system that never had their best interest to begin with. But, they look at these token Jakes that sell out as motivation. So that's why they believe that this place still got things to offer. So they wouldn't be willing to make that sacrifice. And that's why our people are going to be destroyed here, man. This was never our rest to begin with. So, Jake will be in a moment and they'll hear us and they'll be like, man, this sounds good. It sounds kind of uplifting, but this is coming with, morals and standards. I got to shake off certain comforts that I'm used to here and that I picked up here in Babylon. And that's a bit too much for me. So I'd rather just, be a Black American, Black Christian, or whatever it is, and just be comfortable. So that's why a lot of our people, they won't make it. It says, and lo, thou art unto them as a very lovely song. It's very entertaining. It sounds good. And Joe Budden, you just heard what he said. Right? He said he actually liked hearing the Black Hebrew Israelites. But apparently not enough to convert. Because homie want to, he still want to stay within that industry and make that money, get ratings, get attention. It says, and can play well on an instrument, for they hear thy words, but they do them not. And when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come, then shall they know that a prophet hath been among them. And they're going to realize this was not a game. This was not something that you just be entertained by, because the message doesn't just begin and end with teaching that you're an Israelite and that you need to keep these commandments. No, you need to understand that the Lord is getting ready to bring total devastation. He's finna bring judgment. All right. We talk about Jacob's trouble. All right. We talk about what's being aligned. All right, as far as you tribes are concerned, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. That this devil's he's gonna go hard in the paint. All right. And we talk about the plagues and the trouble, the anguish, the calamity that's gonna hit our people because they didn't want to listen. We're out there, giving urgent warnings, and Jake ain't really taking heed. They're not taking it serious. They just think it's another pro-Black thing, because you got certain Israelite groups that when you look at them, it doesn't seem to be a big difference because you got pro-Black Israelites too. Walking and stomping in their big black boots, trying to be all militant. So, yeah. So, this, I guess the Spirit had me click on this video just to hear that. And I was like, yeah, that's a quick little lesson right there. And it just goes to show you that this message is definitely being heard. And, you know, we're known, man. You know, we even Paul said as unknown and yet well known. So don't think that these people ain't watching and listening. Especially a dude like Joe Budden. He's from the East Coast. All right, so he should definitely know. All right, but anyway, let me give all praise, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, and into the next one. Shalom.